Col Sanjeet Sirohi, welcome to the Captain's Podcast, sir. You
Thank
have
you.
you have given 35 years to the nation by serving in Indian Army, and you have not stopped there. You are now helping a lot of youngsters to achieve their full potential by choosing a right career, and also meanwhile don't sort of giving up on their passion. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So, you did not stop at after getting retired. People generally they sort of hang their boots and live a chill life in some not so known city in the suburbs. But you did not choose that. Why, sir?
Well, Shashank, I'll tell you that I was on study leave for 2 years in Gurgaon in 2005 and 6. And that was the time where I was interacting with large number of students because I was doing software technology course with the college students. And there I realized that those students were very intelligent, they are very qualified, they are very educated, highly educated. In fact, they were much more educated than what they could do, I could not do in computer software. But where I found them lacking was that they could not speak up, they were lacking in the soft skills. So that is the time I decided that, like in the army, my innings are over because I was superseded, I didn't make it to the next rank. So I decided to quit. And when I decided to quit, that was in 2009, I left the army, I took premature retirement. And then after that, I joined an organization in Noida where they were conducting personality development classes for the students. I joined them, and from there, my journey started. And after spending about 12 years in this field, I have realized that initially I had thought that joining the army or serving the country was my purpose in life. But now I realize I think that was more of a passion when I joined the army. And now I think I'm pursuing my purpose. And that's why what you said that people, they retire and they go to in some local areas or something where they don't come up. But now I have decided that I am going, this is my purpose in life, to help the students to carve out their destiny.
That's great, sir. I mean, a very noble approach. You speak a lot about, I watch your videos, you have a Josh Talk and other platforms that you come on. You talk a lot about goal setting. I mean, can you define for our audience what do you mean by goal setting?
Okay, Shashank, before I tell you about goal setting and how to define goal setting and what are the good points of goal setting, I'll just tell you how this goal setting came into my life. I was in second standard and I was studying in Delhi, and I used to take a DTC bus to go to my school. And not only one DTC bus, in between I had to change the DTC bus. So invariably I used to get late. So one day I went to school, I was late. My class teacher told me, "Why are you late every day?" I said, "Ma'am, I come in DTC bus and more sometimes they get late." So she said, "Why don't you take the school bus?" I was very innocent. I said, "Ma'am, my father, he cannot afford for a school bus. That's why I come in DTC bus." So there were few students who started laughing and giggling. I felt very bad and very sad, and I started crying. So after the class was over, the class teacher took me to her cabin and she said, "Why are you crying?" I said, "Okay, people have started laughing on you." He said, "If you want that people should not laugh at you, you must have a goal to do something in life where not only at you, even at your children, that people don't laugh." That was something which got into me. And that is the time I decided that I want to do something in life so that I can also afford my children going to school in a school bus. So that was how I was introduced to goal setting. Now, as far as the goal setting is concerned, it is very, very important for a child to set a goal as early as possible in life. Because what happens is once you set up a goal, you know what you want to do in life. Most of the people, and I'll say most of the youth, they are not even aware what they want to do in life. Like I'll give you an example, you can try it out.
Sure, sir.
You ask an 8-year-old child that what do you want to become in life, and straight away, without even thinking, they will tell you, I want to become a doctor, I want to become an actor, even I want to become a Sachin Tendulkar or other things. Yeah. But you ask any college going student, in spite of the fact that they are pursuing a professional course, if you ask him what you want to do in life, I am telling you, you will find that 90% of the students, they will start thinking they will not be able to do. So that is why the goal setting is very important. And other thing which I want to say is that in Forbes people, they had conducted research in Harvard University. And what they did was, they asked the class who was doing MBA that how many of the students they have goal in life. And how many of the students have written goal and they have planned to achieve that. So to your surprise, only 3% of the students had goal, and that too written goal with some plan to achieve it. 13% were the students who had goal, but they had not written, neither they had planned for it, but they had a goal in their head. 84% of the students, they didn't have goal, neither written nor in their head. So these people, they carried out their research, and after 15 years, they went back to these students to check up how these students are doing. And आपको जान के बड़ी हैरानी होगी कि 13% of the students who were having a goal but they had not planned nor they had written, they were earning twice the amount of money the balance 84% were earning. But most amazing thing is those 3% of the students who had written goals and they had planned to achieve that, they were earning 10 times more than those balance of 97%. So that is the importance of having a goal, writing a goal, and reading the goal. I suggest to the students, they must read their goals twice a day. Because once they read their goals, firstly, their thinking becomes clear, their desire to achieve something becomes stronger, their creativity is stimulated, they are motivated, they are galvanized, they are energized. Lot of good things start happening if you have a goal.
That's great, sir. I mean, I personally realized the importance of goal setting later in my life. Now I feel that without a goal, you are not even aware what your destination is, what your journey is going to be like, and you are leaving everything up to chance. So we here nowadays, there's a framework of goal setting. It's, I think, called SMART goals. Can you throw some light on that?
Yeah, SMART goals means that any goal, if it is not measurable and there is no time limit to it, then it is not a goal, it is just an idea.
Okay.
So the first requisite is that it should be specific. It should be for S it is specific. For M it is measurable. It should be measured. You should be able to measure. Like if I want to reduce weight, I should say that I must reduce the weight by 5 kg, 10 kg. It should be measurable. It should not be vague. Because if you have a vague goal, then you will have a vague achievement also. Now for A, it is achievable. It should be achievable. You cannot say that I will lose 20 kgs in 1 month. It is next to impossible.
Right.
Right? And last part C is that there should be time limit to it. So until these 4 things are quantified, or they are measurable, they are specific, then it is just an idea, it is not a goal. So to convert an idea into goal, you have to have these 4 things, what you mentioned, SMART.
Okay, so basically you have to, I mean, spend some time. It's not just a wishful thinking कि मैं ऐसे मुझे 1 करोड़ रुपए कमाने हैं, ऐसा नहीं है. You have to measure this. You have to have a time bound process to it. It should be achievable. ऐसा नहीं कि आप अभी कुछ आपकी skills नहीं है and you are thinking of earning so much, or maybe you are a sports person, you directly want to achieve something out of the ordinary. It wouldn't happen. So हमें अपना टाइम स्पेंड करना है इस गोल सेटिंग प्रोसेस में, और उसका एक फ्रेमवर्क है स्मार्ट गोल्स.
Yeah, smart goal. I'll just make it more simpler. I just gave, it is known as 7-point formula.
Okay, sir.
The 7-point formula is how to achieve the goal. You have set the goal, but how to achieve that goal. First and simply, you must be clear what you want to achieve. That is the foremost thing. Because until you are clear what you want to achieve in life, then it is like playing a football without a goal post.
Right.
You're running all around, but you don't know where to score the goal. Right? Number two is you must write it down. Because once you start writing it down, you will be motivated throughout. And third thing is you must set a deadline. I said that there should be have to be time limit to it.
Right.
And then make a to-do list. Say, okay, if I have to achieve this goal by so and so time, and this is what I have to achieve, then I must write down all the points, what all points are required to achieve that goal. This you can do it yourself. You can do with the help of your parents. I think parents have got very important role, especially for the smaller children, to come into this part of their goal setting or goal achievement. And then they should organize it into a list of options. क्या क्या मुझे करने हैं, उनका एक प्लान बनाना है. And then take the action immediately. Don't wait कि मैं कल करूंगा, परसों करूंगा. Don't procrastinate. कि भाई आज नहीं मैं तो कल करूंगा. And lastly, when you get up in the morning, firstly you must do is you must try to do something. You must plan to do something that day to achieve that goal. If you follow these 7 steps, then you can achieve any goal which you want to achieve.
So with this, I think, I'm kind of recalling कि एक law of attraction भी होता है. You are stressing a lot on writing the goal and keep on reading it frequently. So is this something which comes to your mind as well?
Absolutely. I'm telling you, whether it is a dominant thought you can say, or because if you are repeating your goal every thrice, that means more or less whole day you are thinking about your goal. That will be your dominant thought. Now, whatever your dominant thought is, and that dominant thought is combined with your emotions. Okay. Because thought without emotions is not going to work out anything. And that is how the law of attraction works. I'll give you, it's for too easy to understand, I'll give you my example, for example, because I'll be talking most of the things about myself.
Great, sir.
What happened was that I wanted to join the army, but I was not good in mathematics. So I appeared for NDA exam thrice, and every time I failed in that. But my aim was, and that was like, it was a dominant thought, it was a goal that to join the army. So I joined, when I went to college, I joined NCC. Now NCC, I took part in 2 Republic Day parades in 72 and 73, long time back, to make sure that I get C certificate. C certificate was the highest certificate for NCC senior wing. So I went for annual camp, and I did my best I could do it. And then I got C certificate. And as you won't believe it, that as soon as I got a C certificate, there was a policy, there was a rule of the government which came that all the students, NCC cadets, who have C certificate, they need not appear for written exam. They can straight away go for SSB. So my written exam, which was a problem for me to clear, became totally clear, and I straight away went to SSB and I got selected. So what I'm trying to bring out is that whatever your dominant thought is, if you are thinking about it, if you are writing about it, your law of attraction starts working. And there is another thing into it is that once you write down your goal, you create a structural tension in your brain. तो वो structural tension क्या करती है कि वो आप क्या अचीव करना चाहते हैं और क्या आप आज हो. Suppose आज मैं स्टूडेंट हूँ, I want to become an army officer. So today's reality is this, that I am a student, and my vision is that I want to become an army officer and put on the uniform. So my brain now starts closing this gap. And that's why how the law of attraction works. But only thing is, Prashant, you must understand that thought must have emotions. You must feel like an army officer. वो इमोशंस आने चाहिए कि अच्छा मैं वर्दी पहनूंगा तो मेरे को कैसी फीलिंग आएगी. Once you start getting that, more emotions are involved and more the law of attraction starts with.
तो सर मतलब आप ये कह रहे हैं कि ये जस्ट फिल्मी बात नहीं है कि अगर आप किसी चीज को दिल से चाहो तो पूरी कायनात उसको आपको मिलाने में लग जाती है.
मैं मतलब शाहरुख खान से I don't agree 100%, I agree 500% what he said. इन ओम शांति ओम के जितनी शिद्दत से आप किसी चीज को मांगो तो पूरी कायनात आपको उसको पूरा करने लग जाती है. दिस इज माय एक्सपीरियंस And I have tried not only this, I can give you n number of examples
Sure, sir.
where I had dominant thought and law of attraction has worked for me, and it has worked wonderfully, I'm telling you.
That's great, sir. I mean, I have also personally felt this happening and with people around me also. I mean, somebody wants to, if अगर उनको सच में चाहिए तो वो कर लेते हैं, मतलब या तो वो एक बहाना ढूंढ लेंगे कि मैं इस वजह से नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ, या फिर वो उसको अचीव कर लेंगे. Either of the one of these things happen.
देखो, मैं इस चीज में गारंटी मतलब देता हूं कि अगर आदमी के दिमाग में कोई चीज है करने की और उसको करने की वो कोशिश कर रहा है हर तरह से जैसे करता है, इफ यू आर डूइंग, इफ यू आर पुटिंग से 100%, जिसको कायनात बोलते हैं या इनफाइनाइट इंटेलिजेंस बोलो, भगवान बोलो, खुदा बोलो, इफ यू डू 100% ही विल पुट इन अनदर 500%.
That's great, sir. With this, I mean, I also want to talk about कि हम जब गोल सेटिंग अपनी करते हैं एंड देन देयर इज अ प्रोसेस टू इट, एंड उसको हम फाइनली इफ एक दिन अगर अचीव भी करते हैं तो समहाउ आई फील इन पर्सनली आई हैव फेल्ट कि एक हैप्पीनेस का भी कोरिलेशन है गोल्स के साथ.
बिल्कुल 100% है. और शशांक, आपको जान के ये हैरानी होगी कि एक हार्वर्ड ने 1980 में दो साइकोलॉजिस्ट ने एक रिसर्च की थी.
ओके.
और रिसर्च उन्होंने ये बात की थी कि दे आइडेंटिफाइड दोज पीपल हु सेड दैट दे आर वेरी हैप्पी इन लाइफ. So they wanted to know what is the common between all the people who say they are very happy. क्या चीज है? Is it wealth? Is it health? Is it success? Is it family life? Is it education? क्या चीज ऐसी है जिससे आदमी खुश होता है? So they found out there were two things which make a person happy. And I have already covered that, but I will just repeat. First of all, you must know what you want to achieve in life. That is your goal. And number two, you must feel that you are getting closer to achieve that goal. वो goal मेरी जिंदगी में है, मैं उसके पास रोज आना, मैं उसके पास, I am getting closer to that. So if you have a goal और आपको लगता है कि आप रोज आना उसके, you are getting closer to the goal, you are the happiest person. So if you want to be happy, set up a goal, plan for it, take action, and the day you start feeling that yes, मैं उसके पास जा रहा हूँ, you will be the happiest person. और health, wealth, वो चीजें हैं, लेकिन I think these two things are the main thing.
That's right, sir. I mean, even if you are getting 0.01% daily closer to your goal, it exponentially over a period of time, this compounds and you have a happy personality thereafter.
Yeah.
That's great, sir. You have had a long career in the army. Did this sort of process help you there also?
Yeah, it helped me there also because whatever I wanted to achieve with that, like as you must be aware that in the army, clearing the defense services staff college is the dream of every army officer.
That's right, sir.
So when I joined the army, I used to see senior officers who were qualified for defense services staff college. So I used to envy them. I used to feel, yeah, one day I also want to clear that, because that for army officer, whether army, air force, naval officers, that is the ultimate.
Sir, can you just explain to our audience what is this defense services exam is for?
Okay. Defense services staff college examination is a written exam where around 2,500 officers, they appear for the written exam. And these officers are totally qualified. They have got good experience and they have got a good knowledge. But only vacancies are only 220. That means only 10% officers, they qualify for that. So that is quite difficult for officers to qualify. So when I joined the regiment, I saw one or two officers who had already qualified in my regiment, and their way of talking and their body language totally different from other officers. So that was the time when I decided that I will also clear this exam, and that became my goal. And then I started. I made my plan. I made my to-do list to achieve to how to clear that. I asked these officers. And then I started preparing for that. So in addition to preparation, I used to always think myself that because this, after you have cleared this exam, you go to Wellington in Nilgiri Hills, and that is a very, very beautiful place. So I used to start visualizing myself that I am already in Nilgiri Hills,
Mm.
and that is the way I cleared that, and then I went to top college.
You were in armored code, right?
Yeah, I was in army corps.
So, Penny, I mean, you must have. Because when I was in the academy, people thought of armored being a very royal core. How was your experience?
No, no, my experience was very good, and given another chance, next birth, I will join the army and I will join the armored corps. It was a, and I belong to a regiment which is the only regiment in the Indian Army who has fought all the three wars. My regiment is 20th Lancers. 20th Lancers was involved in 1962. They were airlifted to Sistool against the Chinese. Then we fought 65 war in Akhnur, Chand sector. And in 71 war, we fought in Rajasthan. So I'm very proud of my regiment. I'll tell you one incident about my this thing. What happened was that I had just come back from young officers course, and one has read about grooming and about Guderian, all the German commanders and even second American commanders and
Yeah.
everything. So that Josh was there, and seeing the tank, I used to feel very great about myself. I used to think I'm a Guderian.
Mm.
And so there was an inspection going on. We have CME inspection, that is normally a
Yeah.
inspection every year for the mechanical, checking the mechanical part
Mm.
or the war worthiness of the tank. So I told my driver, okay, I will drive the tank.
Arjun,
So I sat on the driver. Sorry?
uh, tank was Arjun or T95?
No, no. No, no. Tank was, it was a long time back. I'm talking about 1977. Indian Army had
Oh,
only Vision tank. Okay.
okay.
So it was a Vision tank, and I still remember the number of my tank. It was ZX2036. So I sat in the tank, and but the only problem with Vision tank was that the brake systems were not very good. So I started driving the tank in the garage itself, and after when it had picked up the speed, then I was supposed to turn it back. So when I wanted to bring the speed down, I applied the brake, but applied the brake failed. And I was trying, because good thing about Vision tank was that it was an automatic transmission system. So by the time the tank came slow down, it hit the building and the wall it totally collapsed. And I was just a second lieutenant, and I was so scared, and everyone they came started running towards me, and the commandant was informed, and commandant came, and when he saw the tank and he saw the building, I don't know, maybe he was impulsive or something. He asked my squadron commander to arrest me. So, with not even with 1 year service, I was arrested as an officer, and my belt was taken. For all the audience who are not aware in the thing, in the army, when you arrest someone, you take his belt. So that is the one indication that the person has been arrested. So I was arrested, my belt was taken, and I felt very bad. And so there was one Dafedar in the armored corps we call Dafedar, not Havaldar.
Mm.
He came to me and he said, "Saab, jo ho gaya so ho gaya. Now you can't do anything about it, and don't feel bad about it. You were driving the tank, there was a problem in the tank, so you met with an accident." But he said, "Saab, ek cheez yaad rakhna zindagi mein." I said, what? He said कि जिस रेजिमेंट में आपको अरेस्ट किया गया है, आपने इस रेजिमेंट को एक दिन कमांड करना है. That incident where I was totally feeling so let down, so negative, so frustrated, that that sentence of that Dafedar gave me an inspiration. And you will be very happy to know that I commanded that regiment for 2.5 years in the regiment where I was arrested with not even 1 year of service.
That's
So
great,
that is
sir.
what the. But
Yes,
let me tell you, it has got nothing to do with armored corps. It is armored corps is a very good corps.
that's true, sir. I mean, that really brings out the importance. I mean, at young or as a young officer, you set up that goal, and then obviously after achieving all these, after doing that hard work, clearing the exams, promotional exams, then only you get to command your regiment.
Yeah.
So this also brings out the importance, like you had this setback, uh, incident that was so negative, it could have driven you into negative zone, sort of कि ये क्या हो गया, अब मैं इतनी यंग सर्विस में मैं ऐसा कर गया. But you did not take it as a negative connotation. You took it as a challenge, and the dafedar who was there, he also sort of guided you कि इसको एज ए चैलेंज लो. सो दिस आई फील इज अगेन लेसन लर्न सॉर्ट ऑफ कि अगर आपकी लाइफ में नेगेटिविटी ही है तो आप उसको एज ए चैलेंज ले सकते हो.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because life, you cannot expect life to give you gifts or give you positivity every time. There will be events which you will feel very let down, you will feel frustrated, you may feel depressed also. But we should not, and the army, the one thing which teaches army, I think any army officer, whether they have served for 35 years or 5 years or 2 or 3 years, the one thing which teaches army is that you must have a positive attitude. And even in negative environment, in negative situations, whether it is a war or it is a peace, because in the army, war happens after some years, but we are fighting war every day. Whether we are
Right.
in insurgency, counter-insurgency, or we are fighting against the weather or a climate. So negativity always offers challenges, and in the army, people are best at it. That even in negative situations, they come out of it. And the best example of this was the Kargil War, where everything went against the country. People were so surprised that no one knew that we have already been infiltrated, but still we turned the table. So that is the best thing which the army teaches.
That's right, sir. I mean, there are a lot of so-called soft skills that we see coming up in the corporate environment. They are naturally present in an army or a defense forces environment. So I feel that some lot of those skills are transferable to civil and corporate environment as well. What are your thoughts?
Absolutely. Whatever I'm telling you, if I've got nothing against the corporate and they are doing well. And since I may not have experience of the corporate, but let me tell you one thing. Since I have done this soft skill course, I know, like I'll give you an example. Leadership. Leadership in the army, starting from a second lieutenant till you become a chief of the army staff, you are always leading and you are leading by example. Not you're not leading by sitting in the offices, you're leading by example. You are the one. And the Kargil war was won by the young leadership, by the officers
Right.
and JCOs. Number one. Number two is motivation. Army teaches you that how to motivate your troops. If you can motivate your troops who are sitting in Siachen or they are working, they are operating in jungles of Assam and Arunachal Pradesh, then motivating people in sitting in the air-conditioned offices in Delhi, Gurgaon, or Bombay, or cosmopolitan city, I think it is easy as compared to what is in the army. Then comes your emotional intelligence and empathy. This, I think, any army person can teach any corporate that what is importance of emotional intelligence and empathy, because you are dealing with human beings who are under very harsh conditions. Then interpersonal skills, very, very important. Stress management. Most of the time you are under stress because of the either because of the enemy or because of the terrorists or because of the weather, climate, other things. Then is your team management. In the army, from starting from one section to platoon to company to battalion and brigade, it starts from lower level and goes to highest level. We work in a team. And then the other thing is even in the goal setting. Every time we have a goal. In the army, we are told कि अच्छा आपका मकसद क्या है, आपका इरादा क्या है, and everything flows out from that irada. So I think all these skills are very important, and my suggestion is that corporate can learn lots of things from the army.
That's right, sir. I mean, they have actually, and they are also matlab, literally, they have all these terms like strategy, tactics, and game theory. All these are taken from army and defense background, and they are being implemented in corporate framework, and they are also refining them. And I feel that
Yeah,
they still a long way to go for them.
yeah.
And with that, I also want to bring out the all these soft skills that you spoke of. These days, we give so much emphasis on hard skills like कोडिंग आनी चाहिए, ये आना चाहिए, इंजीनियरिंग में आना कर लो, या फाइनेंशियल सर्विसेज में आप जा सकते हो, बी कॉम कर लो. दीज आर ऑल आई थिंक प्रोफेशनल एंड हार्ड स्किल्स, but soft skills are something which of lately have come so much in demand. And do you feel, I mean, for a person who is just graduating, or who is thinking of who has just passed his 12th class exam, these soft skills are important, and can they learn them? How does one go about it?
Yeah. First of all, let me tell you one thing. Few years back, Mr. Narayan Murthy, who was that time CEO of Infosys, has said that 75% of our graduates
Right.
are unemployable. The World Bank says that in India, 93% of their graduates are unemployable. So whether it's statistics 93% or 75%, what is correct, that is different issue. But point what I want to bring out is that why the graduates who are technical graduates, I'm talking about B Tech, M Tech, they are people, and nowadays I am conducting classes from students of Saudi Charan Singh University, where I have students of B Tech, M Tech, MCA, BCA, MBA. I am conducting their classes on employability skills, or you can call it soft skills or people skills,
Yeah.
whatever name you can give it. Point is that it is very, very important. And why not only 12th class? I am telling you that these skills must be taught from the school level, from middle school level, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th onwards, they must start off. Like for goal setting, I conduct classes for the students of the school-going students on goal setting. Let them know what goal setting is. Right? So we can start off from the school, and then we can go to the colleges. And this is a must. If anybody wants to do well in life, let me tell you one thing. He has to have good soft skills. Because hard skills, you can find n number of people with a hard skill. UP government few years back took out an advertisement for a job of a peon, in which 250 people were PhDs, 25,000 were postgraduates, 150,000 were graduates. So there is no dearth of hard skills. But soft skill, we are having a soft skill crisis, and as soon as we solve this soft skill crisis, our students will be doing well. So soft skills are very, very important. They are no option. There is no choice. They are imperatives. They have to be learned if you want to do well in life.
That's right, sir. And the people generally don't realize their importance. They sort of take it lightly कि ये तो हो ही जाएगा. But ultimately, when the moment comes, then that is where they tend to fail. And you are saying we should do it in schools. I mean, is there any correlation with the development of brain at that young age?
I tell you, it is why I am saying school, and that too I said 6th, 7th, 8th classes.
Yeah.
Because during the adolescent years, there are changes taking place in a body, physical as well as mental. Now, physical is that your start growing, your hair start growing, your arms become less. So there are a lot of physical changes. I am not get involved in the physical changes.
Yeah.
Now, in the mental changes, your brain, till some time back, people used to think कि भाई जो जिस brain से बंदा पैदा होता है, वो brain वहीं रहती है. But now the research has found that there is a neuroplasticity. It keeps on changing. It is how you use your brain. Brain will become the way you want it to become. Okay. So adolescent में क्या होता है कि there is a remodeling of brain take place. Now, what does remodeling brain mean? That brain, till such time, brain is like a bush, चारों तरफ बढ़ रही है. Now, when you become adolescent, 11, 12, 13 साल की उम्र में, then the pruning takes place. जैसे hedge को हम काटते हैं, bushes को काटते हैं to give it a proper shape. Same way, the brain itself starts cutting itself, and all those things which are not being used, they are cut. but all those things which are used, they are kept. So when the brain remodeling is taking place, that is the time when you are in the adolescent years. So if you start learning whatever you want to learn in life, that is the best period because your brain is 100% efficient that time. Till now, you were a MBBS doctor, but once you become adolescent, you become specialist. You become medical specialist, you become surgical specialist, you become ENT specialist. So that is the time when the brain development takes place, and we must start teaching or developing the soft skills, or you can call it life skills of our students from that age itself.
That's right, sir. I mean, the importance at that stage, if you learn at that point in time, it stays with you for throughout. I remember कि जो मैंने उस टाइम पे सीखा था वो मैं आज भी याद है मुझे. भले ही मैं कुछ साल पहले कुछ सीखा वो उतना याद नहीं हो, बट उस एज की जो लर्निंग रहती है, दैट इज क्वाइट, आई मीन इट स्टेज विद यू. बट एक
Absolutely.
एक सर उस एज में ये भी होता है कि आप मतलब पर्सनली इन माय केस देयर वाज पॉइंट इन टाइम आई वाज नॉट श्योर कि ये मतलब हो क्या रहा है, मुझे करना क्या है, sort of like a identity crisis ऐसा. How do you cope up with that?
Okay, I'll tell you. Now, as far as the identity crisis is concerned, there is a psychologist, Eric Erikson. He was the one who came out with this theory of identity crisis. And he says that from the time you are born till you die, you face 8 stages of identity crisis.
Okay.
Last crisis is when you are 65 years of age. We are not going to discuss all those crises. We are going to discuss only one crisis, which is during the period when you are adolescent, because that is the most important crisis.
Right.
Now, what happens is in this crisis, what is happening during time? You are changing physically, you are changing mentally. That is the time when you start finding out कि मैं कौन हूँ, who am I? Because till such time you were recognized by your parents कि ये उसका बेटा है, ये उसका भाई है, ये उसका ये है, उसका पोता है, उसका परपोता है. People used to identify you from your parents, your adults. But when you become adolescent, you start asking yourself कि भाई मैं कौन हूँ, मुझे क्या बनना है, what am I good at, what I am bad at. All these questions start coming to your mind. So that is the time when you are having an identity crisis. Now, in this period, what happens is, normally क्या होता है इस period में कि जो parents हैं वो भी they also start distancing themselves, and this child also start distancing themselves from their parents. वो एक ऐसा पीरियड आता है जैसे आपने बताया था कि वो उस पीरियड में ऐसा होता है कि पता नहीं लगता क्या करे. Now, in that, it is the moral responsibility of the parents to stay connected with them, to help them in exploring. Now, there are two things to identity crisis. One is the commitment, second is the exploration. If you, there are, and out of these these things come out the 4 statuses. One is identity achieved. That means you have explored everything. भाई मैं ये कर सकता हूँ, लेकिन मैं ये करूंगा. I have become a doctor. So you have decided after finding out और सब चीजें आपने डिसाइड किया कि मैं डॉक्टर बनूंगा. That is the best part. Second, opposite to is identity diffuse. That means ना तो मैंने एक्सप्लोर किया, ना तो मैंने कुछ ढूंढा, और ना मैं कोई कमिट कर रहा हूँ कि मैं क्या करूंगा. मैं तो आई एम ए फ्री स्टाइल हूँ, मैं कुछ नहीं करूँ. These are the worst conditions. Then there is in between. One is the foreclosure. Foreclosure means मेरे फादर फौज में थे, मेरे फादर डॉक्टर है, मैं भी डॉक्टर बनूंगा. मैंने कमिट कर दिया बिना पूछे हुए कि देखो क्या करना चाहिए. एक्सप्लोरेशन की है. और चौथी है एक्सप्लोर मैंने सब किया, लेकिन मैं कमिट नहीं करूंगा कि मैं करूंगा क्या. तो दिस इज थिंग. तो पॉइंट इज कि इसमें सबसे ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम मैंने बताया आइडेंटिटी डिफ्यूज का, तो उसका तो देयर इज नो फ्यूचर फॉर दैट स्टूडेंट. जो मेरिटोरियम है उसने एक्सप्लोर कर दिया है, लेकिन वो डिसाइड नहीं कर पा रहा. ही विल बी द मोस्ट रिबेलियस पर्सन ड्यूरिंग हिज टीन इयर्स एंड ड्यूरिंग हिज एडल्ट. बट इंटरेस्टिंग पार्ट ऑफ फोरक्लोजर इज कि उसने कमिट तो कर दिया कि भाई मैं फौज में जाऊंगा क्योंकि मेरे फादर फौज में, या मेरे फादर की दुकान है तो मैं तो दुकान पे बैठूंगा. तो इनिशियली वो बैठ जाएगा, लेकिन आफ्टर सम टाइम मिड लाइफ क्राइसिस में ही में स्टार्ट रियलाइजिंग दैट दैट वाज द बिगेस्ट मिस्टेक ही डिड. देन ही स्टार्ट रिग्रेटिंग कि मैंने ये क्यों किया. So this is very important, and in this, I think the parents have got very important role to help out their students in exploring the options and then helping them to commit themselves. If they can do that, then I think the parents have done wonderful job.
Right. And there are also people like you help children and youngsters find, I mean, if you can help them in exploration, and commitment, after all, has to be made by
Commitment
them.
has to come from that process. Yeah,
राइट राइट.
absolutely.
एंड आजकल एक वो मतलब ये ट्रेंड भी है, लोग उसमें आ जाते हैं, सोशल मीडिया है तो इट्स मोर देन डोमिनेंट के पैशन फॉलो करना है, पैशन फॉलो करना है. तो है क्या पैशन, मतलब पैशन क्या है, करियर क्या है, इज देयर अ डिफरेंस?
Yeah, I'll tell you there is a difference, because what is career? Career is one thing which is running your economic engine. भाई मेरी रोजी रोटी चलनी है, मैंने पैसे कमाने हैं ताकि मैंने जिंदगी काटे. That is a career, right? Because my economic engine is running from that only. Career से चल रहा है, otherwise अगर career नहीं होगा तो my economic engine will stop. But what is passion? Passion is one thing which makes your heart sing. गाना गाने का दिल करता है, जो मैं काम करता हूँ, बिल्कुल ये काम करना. I feel, मतलब there's something which comes, I become so energetic while I do that. कई लोग होते हैं, like I'll give you an example. सचिन तेंदुलकर पैशन was cricket. तो वो जो क्रिकेट खेलता है तो he is very happy about it. टाइगर वुड जो गोल्फ खेलता है तो he is very happy about it.
Yeah.
So that is the passion, is that something which makes your heart sing, something which makes you do things even if somebody doesn't pay. Like I am telling you, I take classes, I take students, college going student classes, I take this thing classes for the, lately I have started one series, smart work versus hard work.
Right.
I have conducted a lot of webinars for the students of the Delhi schools, like I have done for DPS Mathura Road, I have done for A4 Central School, Adi for the school. So that is my passion. I am not bothered whether they are paying me or they are not paying me. As long as I am telling something which is going to make difference in the life of a student, that will become my passion. So passion is very, very important. Career is also important. But best part is, in case you can combine them both.
Best case.
If your passion becomes your career, then you can achieve anything in life. Like Sachin Tendulkar made his playing cricket as his career. Virat Kohli has made cricket as his career. Right? Dharmendra was very passionate to become an actor. So he has made his profession as an actor, and whole family has become actor. So it is both. Best part is if you can combine your passion and a career. Otherwise, if you cannot combine your passion and career, then career will become your economic engine, and then you can pursue your passion also, like part-time doing, or it is like a hobby or something. But passion is much more than hobby.
Right, sir. So you brought out this really great point. If you can combine your career and passion, then that is the best case scenario. Because even now we are in 2021, but if you go and try to find on Google Trends, the most searchable item in India is how to get a government job notification, government job. सरकारी नौकरी का इतना वो एक पता नहीं क्या है, आई डोंट रियली अंडरस्टैंड कि लोग गलतफहमी में उसे अपना पैशन भी मान लेते हैं कि मुझे तो या IAS बनना है या इस तरह से. But after some time, I have spoken to many people, those who have achieved these goals. But somehow after some time, this excitement of that government job weans away, and फिर वो life में मजा नहीं रहता. Then they think कि कहीं मैंने उस time गलती तो नहीं कर दी, ये सोच के कि ये मेरा passion है. What is your thought on this?
Absolutely. Because people, they confuse passion with their desire, their wishes. Like IAS बनना चाहता हूँ, that is my wish, that is my desire, but it will not necessarily be my passion. Most of these people don't know what their passion is. And as a result, जैसे आपने ठीक कहा है कि उनको यही नहीं पता passion क्या. But I'll tell you, it is a very simple thing. लोगों को नहीं पता है, but I'll tell you, if they follow what I'm going to tell you now, they can find out their passion, whether you are a student or you are an adult. First of all, you must find out वो क्या चीज थी बचपन में जो हमको करने में सबसे अच्छी लगी. Write it down. These are all the questions. You must take your own time to answer these questions, not in this कि भाई मैं चलो अब बैठता हूँ आंसर करने. आराम से बैठ के तसल्ली से ask yourself, what was one thing which I loved doing when I was a child? Write it down. Then वो क्या चीज थी जिसके मैं बचपन से सपना देखता था कि मैं ये बनूं, वो लिखो. देन वो क्या चीज है जिसके बारे में अगर कोई मेरे से कहे कि अच्छा बेटा 5 मिनट के लिए आप बोलो किसी चीज के ऊपर, तो मैं किस चीज के ऊपर बोलूं. दैट इज योर पैशन. उसके बाद वो कौन सी चीज है जिसको मैं अगर उसको करने लगूं तो मुझे टाइम का ट्रैक ही नहीं रहता, मुझे यही नहीं रहता कि 1 घंटा 2 घंटे 3 घंटे कैसे, वो कौन सी चीज है जो मैं करता हूं जिसमें आई लूज ट्रैक ऑफ टाइम. दैट इज योर पैशन. व्हाट इज वन थिंग विच इफ समबडी टेल्स मी तेरे को डरने की जरूरत नहीं, जो तेरा दिल करे तू कर, वो क्या चीज है जो मैं करूंगा. दैट इज योर पैशन. देन यू आस्क योरसेल्फ व्हाट इज वन थिंग विच इज समबडी टेल्स मी कि देयर इज ए गारंटी कि तू इसमें कामयाब होगा ही होगा, मैं क्या करूंगा. फाइंड आउट दैट. वो कौन सी चीज है जो मैं करना चाहता हूँ जिसमें जितने भी पैसे की कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, जितने पैसे लगेंगे कोई ना कोई लगा देगा. आई वॉन्ट टू डू दैट. सो इफ यू आंसर दीज 7-8 क्वेश्चन योरसेल्फ, अकेले बैठ के अपने मन से पूछ के राइट इट डाउन, देन आई एम टेलिंग यू यू कैन इजीली फाइंड आउट व्हाट योर पैशन इज.
राइट.
एंड देन मेक इट ए पॉइंट, अगर पॉसिबल है मेक इट ए पॉइंट कि इसको किसी तरीके से आप पैशन, इसको एक कैरियर बनाओ.
सो सर यू आर सेइंग, आई मीन जिस जो आपने बोला अगर मैं उसको सम अप करूं तो इंट्रोस्पेक्शन अपने अंदर करना है, बाहर नहीं करना है. कि आपको सबसे ज्यादा मजा किस चीज में आया, आपको सबसे ज्यादा इंटरेस्ट किस में है, या फिर समय का पता नहीं चलता उस चीज में. वो सब चीजें हमें खुद से पूछनी है कि हमें कोई दूसरा नहीं आके बताएगा कि भाई तुम्हारा पैशन ये है. दे कैन ऑल, हाँ, दे कैन जस्ट हेल्प यू, गाइड यू कि किस तरह से आप फाइंड आउट कर सकते हो, लेकिन करना खुद पड़ेगा. एंड देन अगेन यू हैव टू मेक अ बैलेंस ऑल्सो कि अगर मेरा पैशन कुछ ऐसा है आउट ऑफ द ऑर्डिनरी जो इजीली उससे मैं एक इकोनॉमिक सेंस नहीं निकाल सकता, तो हमें एक करियर पे भी फोकस करना है. एंड यू हैव टू टेक दैट बैलेंस कि करियर से मैं अपना इकोनॉमिक इंजन जैसे आपने कहा चलाता रहूं, और पैशन में एज अ हॉबी और साइड प्रोजेक्ट अपना करता रहूं. एंड द डे my passion is able to give me that sense of security in term of economic engine, then I can full on go into that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Sir, and you brought out the importance of parents in case of youngsters to help them and guide them. So what would you say to all the young parents who have young children and even older ones, how can they help their children find passion or make good career decisions?
I will not give too many points because too many points means no point will be implemented.
Right.
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 I'll just give 5-6 points.
Correct.
And that is through my experience as a parent, right? Because I have one or two grown-up sons, and they are, with the grace of God, they are doing pretty well. I'll just give you 5-6 points, which I think if the parents they follow that, because I have been interacting with going on parent-teacher meeting, counseling the parents. First and foremost is 90% of the parents, they think that their responsibility is over after they have put their child in a good school. अच्छे स्कूल में मैंने डाल दिया, मेरा काम खत्म हो गया, अब टीचर पढ़ाएगी, वो करेगी, मेरा काम खत्म. That is the worst thing they can do to a child. Responsibility of your child is yours. With teacher, he will be only for 5-6 hours, 7 hours, but most of the time the child is with you, so you have to take care of him. That is number one. Especially when the child is growing and he reaches adolescent and teenager, that is the time when you should be maximum connected with them, because that is the time he requires you. Parents को ये होता है कि जी बच्चा बड़ा हो गया है, जब छोटा था हमने संभाल लिया, अब बच्चा बड़ा हो गया, अब जो है इसको अपने आप करना. That is the worst thing they can do. उस टाइम बच्चे के साथ कनेक्टेड होना बहुत जरूरी है, बिकॉज ही स्टार्ट फीलिंग इज अलोन। एंड आप जो अगर देखोगे तो ज्यादातर बच्चे जो है डिप्रेशन में कुछ में जाते हो इस एडोलेसेंट के बाद जाते हो, उससे पहले कोई नहीं जाता।
राइट।
बिकॉज बच्चे, बिकॉज देयर ब्रेन इज डेवलपिंग, वो तो खुद अलग होते ही हैं, पेरेंट्स भी अलग होने शुरू हो जाते हैं। तो दे मस्ट, नंबर 2 इज दे मस्ट स्टे कनेक्टेड विद देयर चाइल्ड। नंबर 3 इज दे मस्ट नॉट फोर्स द सब्जेक्ट और देयर ओन ड्रीम्स ऑन देयर चाइल्ड। माँ बाप अपना सपना पूरा करने के लिए बच्चों के ऊपर सपना मत थोपो। आप अपने सपने पूरे करो, बच्चों को अपने करने दो। और बच्चा अगर कोई सपना देखता है तो वो सपना उसका नहीं होता, भगवान उसे सपने देता है। तो यू मस्ट हेल्प हिम आउट इन फाइंडिंग और अचीविंग हिज ड्रीम। बट यस, व्हाट यू कैन डू इज यू कैन गाइड हिम, यू कैन हेल्प हिम इन एक्सप्लोरिंग द पॉसिबिलिटीज एंड देन हेल्पिंग इन मेकिंग द कमिटमेंट। उसको गाइड करने का काम है, उसको थोपने का, उसको फोर्स करने का काम नहीं है। बिकॉज ही इज नॉट योर प्रॉपर्टी, ही इज ए गिफ्ट, or he or she is a gift which the God has given you. Your job is to look after that gift, because that gift has been given by the God. And another thing is, हर माँ बाप चाहता है कि मेरा बच्चा बड़ा बने, सक्सेसफुल हो, लेकिन कोई माँ बाप बच्चे को ये नहीं बताता है कि वो सक्सेसफुल कैसे हो। टीचर दे से कि भाई यू मस्ट बिकम सक्सेसफुल लाइफ, तुम ये बनो, तुम वो बनो, लेकिन ना तो स्कूल में कोई ये बताता है कि भाई कैसे बना जाए, ना तो पेरेंट्स बताते हैं कैसे बना जाए। प्लीज सिट विद हिम, हेल्प हिम आउट हाउ ही कैन बिकम सक्सेसफुल। तो ये 4-5 चीजें हैं जो अगर हर माँ बाप इस चीज को समझे। और लास्ट ये है, जैसे हमने पहले डिस्कस किया, मैथ का ट्यूशन लगाओ, केमिस्ट्री लगाओ, वो सब लगाओ, पढ़ाई अच्छी कराओ, एम टेक कराओ, बी टेक कराओ, लेकिन सॉफ्ट स्किल्स के ऊपर भी ध्यान दो। बिकॉज degrees and diplomas will give them the chance to go for the interview, but if they want to do well in the interview they have to have good soft skills। ये जो है मैं चाहता हूं कि पेरेंट्स के पास हो।
That's right. I think a lot of people will find value in this. And lastly, before we go, I just wanted to ask you, for the young listeners and students and those who are planning to choose their college or maybe after a career or finding a passion, what advice will you give them?
Okay, as far as the students are concerned, same thing, I will tell you only 5 things, and they can build up everything on those 5 things. Firstly, there is a sleep crisis. Sleep crisis means young students or college students, they sleep very late and they get up very late in the morning. Or in case they have to go to the school early in the morning, then they are having lack of sleep. The whole world is having a sleep crisis.
Right.
So first advice I give to everyone which we follow in the army is that you must get up early in the morning. And the most productive thing what you want to do in whole day, you must do in the morning hours, 2 to 3 hours after you have got up. That is number one. And for students, the most productive thing is studying. That is number one. Number two, each child and parents must help out, must inculcate the habit of reading books. People have stopped reading books. आजकल मोबाइल में जो कुछ पढ़ना है मोबाइल में गूगल में करके कर लेते हैं। They have stopped reading. They must get addicted to reading good books. उनको ऐसा होना चाहिए कि रात को मेरे को नींद नहीं आएगी जब तक मैं 10-15 पेज पढ़ नहीं लूंगा। And parents must get them good books to read. That is second thing. Number 3 is they must know how to learn. They must know how to learn. पढ़ा कैसे जाए? How to do a smart reading is as compared to hard reading. And nowadays I am conducting webinar for the students of this. कि पढ़ाई, क्योंकि मैंने ये देखा है that I was very bad in maths and science subjects, but now I know that if whatever I tell them, if they start following that, they will become expert in that. So they must know how to learn. Right. That is number 3 thing. Number 4 is, which is very, very important. Today's generation is a silent generation. हमारे जमाने में क्या था, हमारे माँ बाप कहते थे जाओ रेलवे स्टेशन से जाके टिकट लेके आ जाओ, जाओ उस आदमी से ये बात बताओ, उसको ये बताओ।
mm,
आजकल के बच्चों को बोलो कि किसी बाहर से किसी से बात करनी है, वो बात नहीं कर पाते। दे
mm.
हैव नो कॉन्फिडेंस टू स्पीक टू एनीवन। So they must speak in a group. They must learn to speak. Otherwise, they are in a silent generation. बोलना सीखो। अगर बोलना सीखे, if they have the confidence in speaking to someone, then I tell you, life will be very simple and it will be very successful life. And last is, do what needs to be done. When you get up in the morning, ask yourself कि आज मेरे को क्या करना है, and do it.
Right.
Simple.
That's great advice, sir. I mean, a lot of people will find value in this. And how can they, I mean, if they want to learn all these things, how can they reach out to you?
Well, I am on Facebook, I am on LinkedIn, I am on Instagram,
Right.
right? And I have got my email ID, I have got my contact numbers. I will share with you, and then you can put
Right.
it on the
Yeah, yeah.
LinkedIn.
I'll put on them online. So,
Yeah.
right way to reach you by email or via social media.
Any question related to students? Like last time I was conducting this thing webinar on the smart working was
Right.
over hard work with 8% school. There were a lot of students. So I asked the student to send me the email, and there are a lot of students. They asked me questions. I answered those questions.
Right. That's great, sir. Thank you so much for taking time out today and
Thank you. Thank you very much.
coming on the podcast
It
and
was it was very, very interesting interacting with you, and I'm so thankful to you and grateful to you to asking me those questions which are related to today's youth. And whatever we have discussed, even if 50% of the things are followed by the people who are going to listen to that, I think we both have achieved our aim. Thank you.
That's right, sir. I mean, the aim of this podcast is to spread knowledge and help people who are curious and they don't know how to find the right expert or the thing that they want to learn. And I'm just trying to get them on this platform and get people from different backgrounds to share their knowledge, share their experience so that a lot of people can benefit from it. Thank you so much, sir.
You are doing a good job. You are doing a good job, Sushant. Please carry on doing it.
Right,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
very much. Okay,
Good day,
sir.
sir. Jain, sir.
Good day.